Hey guys, what's going on? I'm bundling up for y'all again. Again, I freeze my butt off for y'all. No, it's alright. I don't mind it. I really don't mind it. Uh, I figured out a few little tricks, right? And it'd be alright. I'll make it through. The fire get going. I just lit it. Just sat down. Pretty much just got home. Actually, it was a long day, but it's okay. We're here to talk about tonight two cases that are on the exact last seen alive on the exact same date. Trigger warning times 200 million because it's two cases. On the exact same day, last seen. And it both was some form of going here, going there, having fun, playing games, and a birthday party. So it was like a day of celebrating in a way. That's what I just was like, these two cases were exact same time. And it's two teenagers. And they're not that many states apart, honestly. One's out of Orlando, Florida, well, Kissimmee, Florida, whatever, Orlando area, Florida, and then Hendersonville, Tennessee. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers and Maddie Soto. So let's get started. We're going to go ahead and start with Maddie Soto. I've been wanting to talk about this case, in depth for a little while. I don't know how long I'll make it in the cold. I'll do my best. Depends on how that fire heats up over here. Maddie Soto had a birthday party. Although her birthday is the 22nd of February. Coming up, guys. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. And we're going to do something for her birthday, believe me. Like we did Sebastian. We'll put up some happy birthday signs. We'll do something. I wanted to talk about it because in this case, we have suspect and possibly suspects, right? I think it's more than one, but, right now it's only one. I think it'll change. Just like the date in the Sebastian Rogers case changed, I think this will change. I think it's going to be a game of pointing fingers. It's going to be a game of he's going to have some kind of proof to prove that she had knowledge. Watch. It's going to come out. I'm hearing it through the grapevine already. It's going to come out. And for a lot of people that think Maddie Soto's mother, Jen Soto, has immunity, she did have for the interview on the 17th, 18th, whatever it was, but that was her basically kind of little come back, tell us the truth, and we won't hold them against you. And if you lie to us, we'll hold it against you. And we know she told fibs. We know that. And because her story did not add up. And of course, they're going to be quiet about that now. They have to be. They want to get the essay trial out of the way. And then I think fireworks will start flying, right? I do believe that. Maddie Soto was 13-year-old out of Kissimmee, Orlando area, Florida. That it's a hard case to cover because when you have two daughters, it makes it even harder. On February 25th, 2024, she had a birthday party at a family person's house. Friends came. Some of them said she was moody. Some of them said she was snappy. This, that, and the other. Anyway, the party's over. She goes back home, and which she lives with her mother, Jen Soto, her mother's roommate, and the live-in boyfriend sometimes, Stephen Stearns. And I do feel that it's a little wishy-washy about this whole story because it was kind of some story changing going on in the beginning, some storytelling, some lies and things that didn't add up. And I'm just thankful that that police officer that was put on this call saw the red flags, because that's what led to an arrest, within 3 days. Stephen Stearns was arrested, as y'all all know, charged with 60 counts of child things that he shouldn't have on his phone, pictures, photos, some kind of acts that was done with Madeline Soto, which is heartbreaking, sick. He's just a sick man. We've heard from his parents about how much he lied and he never could tell the truth and this, that, and the other. His parents feel that he's guilty, but his parents also feel that Jen had knowledge and was aware because she was the one allowing the sleeping arrangements. Even though she was saying sometimes, not going to allow it, she was still allowing it. So this, what I might say might offend some of you guys. I'm just going to let y'all know before we get into it. I hope it doesn't, because it's something we need to talk about. Because there's a lot of things flying around that have a lot of fact to them. And, you know, before we get started, trigger warnings, like I said, times 200 million. Allegedly, just my big alleged bubble. We're going to allegedly talk about our theories, our thoughts, our speculations. That's what we're here to do. Take it as a grain of salt, right? Some of it's fact, some of it's fiction. Not really fiction, but theories, right? My speculations, my theories, allegedly, of what I think happened and the knowledge of who knew what. So, as we know, the mom's boyfriend was sometimes staying the night, sleeping with Madeline upstairs in room number 4, which I call the scary room. Why, I don't know. This mother would allow her 13-year-old. I think I do know, but I don't know. This is just my opinion. But I think what happened was Maddie, and it happens a lot of times when there's a stepfather involved. It more than you know it happens. You know, the little girls, they get a crush on that boy because mommy likes that boy, right? And they want to be like mommy. This happens a lot of times. And usually it's innocent and it passes and it goes on. Sometimes it's acted on. I think what happened here is Madeline may have generated a little crush for Stern, and it led to further things, because now we know about a text message between Maddie and Stern due to a friend that, and some other people that evidently witnessed this messages, that Madeline had been texting Stearns. He had sent her a picture of a coin. It's a parent coin. It's about parents that are expecting, or it's like you can flip the coin and choose, you know, what night or whatever that you try to conceive a child, right? That's why I'm saying trigger warnings in this. But I'm wondering, and I don't know, this is just my thoughts. I'm just wondering if there's some way somehow that Madeline thought in her head that he was more than just the mom's boyfriend. Maybe she thought he was her boyfriend in a way, and that she wanted to run off with him, you know, because remember, Jen said the Woody Allen story. And she said, you're not doing that to me, right? That's why I do believe that Jen was more involved in this than y'all think. I think Jen possibly is the one that whatever happened to Madeline happened because of Jen. I do feel that way, because when I saw those photos of Jen's room with Maddie's little blanket and her little blue stuffed animal pillow that she sleeps with, all these little things that were on that bed, it looked to me like she slept downstairs, not upstairs. And as we know, the roommate is right next door. And what this poor child must have endured that night would have probably made a lot of noise, the way the doctor and the team explained it. That is probably one of the worst ways. Like literally, I would probably rather be eaten by a shark than strangled. I know what it's like to even go swimming, which y'all do too, and hold your breath for a little while and then think to yourself sometimes, I might have dived too deep. I wonder if I'm going to make it to the top. How many times have y'all done that? I know I'm guilty. I've done it plenty of times. And you're like, oh my God, I got a long way to go. In your head, you're thinking that I got to get up there and get air, right? Imagine that times a million, right? When it's out of your control. And you're trying to fight it off and you can't. Because you're just a 13-year-old child. And this is somebody that you love. This is your family. This is your mother. This is your mother's boyfriend that's been in your life since you were, 8? And I'm wondering if it was more, because he said, I didn't start this, remember? And I kept wondering why he would say that. And I thought, well, maybe it was to do with selling these photos or something. And then I kept digging and digging, and I'm thinking, maybe Maddie got a crush on him and he just acted on it. And that Jen was okay with it at first, and then she thought, no, you're going to run away. No, that ain't going to happen. Not on my watch. She said that to the investigators. That is crazy, guys, that she would say that as a mother. I'm worried about Woody Allen. I mean, really? Like, you weren't concerned in the beginning. You were defending your boyfriend that you hadn't done anything with in 6 months, probably because he was doing everything with your child, which is disgusting. You ought to be ashamed of your damn self. To me, she ought to be up under that jail too. She ought to put her in the, she should put him in this, her in the, they should put her in the same damn, I'm so mad I can't even talk. They should put Jen Soto in the same cell with Stephen Stearns with no windows, pitch black 24 hours a day, and that's it. Slide the tray of food and then let them find it on their own. That's how I feel about it. And that may be a little harsh, but this was a little angel that didn't deserve this. And then to be discarded like that, thrown over a barbed wire fence, put in a car and seat belted in, and drove around town like nothing happened, trying to create an alibi, which he was so dumb he couldn't do, right? Allegedly, in my opinion. Come back to the house a few times. Supposed to take her to McDonald's. All these things. Some of the things that he said, Jen kind of acted on. Some of them they didn't. That's why I think they kind of talked about this, right? And that's why she looked so tired, I think, because she was probably up, right? I think this more or less happened by 11:30 or before midnight. Because when she sent them up supposedly to go to bed, I think something probably had already happened. Because if you keep somebody inside wrapped in a blanket, if she'd have kept Maddie in that bed wrapped in those blankets, her body would have stayed warm, right? Which means rigor mortis, the stiffness, all that wouldn't have come yet. So then the next morning when he took her outside, he knew that it was going to come, but she was still limp enough that he had to put a seatbelt on her because she would keep sliding down. So can you imagine this sick man carried this child outside with no one seeing it? But Jen was up because she remembers she saw Maddie in the kitchen and heard all these noises. She was up. And that was 8:30. So then she says later that he woke her up about the dogs. I don't believe none of that shit. That dog should have pissed on you. And I hope it did. And there's just no way. The roommate was down. How would he have got this child outside without being seen by someone? Right? By someone. Was she put in the car that night? I don't know. I think they think she was put into that morning, but was she? Was it what? 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning? You know, her activity on her cell phone showed she took, what was it? At 11:19, she took 131 steps. And then that morning, at like 7 or 7:15, she took 31 steps or 55 steps. Or 51 steps, something, I'm sorry, it's something like that. On her phone health app. So was that him with her phone or her with her phone? If she was alive that morning, then that means it had just happened that morning. But why would it? There's just no way, because it would have been heard, right, by the roommate. I think it happened that night. I think something happened. You know how everybody says she's always fighting with the mom. She doesn't like her mom. She's always mad at her mom. It's because her mom was trying to take her boyfriend if she thought Stern was her boyfriend, which I pray to God that's not the case. But you know, like some of these psychiatrists say, it does happen in young girls that they get attached and they get a crush on their mom's new boyfriend. And it's sad because it's up to the parent to say, no. I know it's innocent, but no. And then to allow them to sleep in it at 13? Give me a break. And it just, God, it gets me. And you know, then for him to give all these different stories. Thank God for whoever this person was that was brave enough to call in and say, I seen that car changing a tire. You know what? Whoever that was deserves a medal in my book, because we don't always get people that step up. Thank God this person did step up, because that's what made this thing happen so quickly. And I'm just, for the cops to be that knowledgeable and know, like, how many missing cases they work? Probably a lot. But you know what's sad about this is only 1 in 10,000 children that go missing are found unalive. The other ones, 99 point whatever percent, are usually found alive. And, of course, they try to say she was missing and all this when we know she wasn't. He had clearly hauled her out there and discarded her in the brush and covered her with weeds, which is just god awful. And he deserves everything he's going to get, right? I wish they had the firing squad there. Can you imagine how much he'd be talking about now if they had that chair? He'd be talking an awful lot, right? But there's just so many things that red flags. I think this is Maddie's. Hold on, let me see. I wrote a few notes here. The email from the school now, we know. I always wonder what time, but it came in late, like 5:45 in the evening, which I don't understand that. They should have sent that out that morning. And then the one crock being found in Jen's room. See, that's another thing that leads me to think that she was in that room that night. Her crock was in there. So it makes me feel like she was in there. I don't know, and I might be wrong, but I just have a hunch that she was downstairs because of the noise that it would have made. And then the 17,000 photos that he's trying to get thrown out right now on his phone, or 1,700, sorry, oh my gosh, sorry, 1,700 photos that he's not going to win. I mean, they're on his Google Drive. He asked for a lawyer right when they caught him with the pictures. He knew he was busted. He knew he was done. And, it's so sad to think that what Maddie had endured, kind of like what we think about Sebastian, what he endured from Christopher Proudfoot and Katie, the treatment for all those years, right? 8 years old. Chris came into his life, I think, at 8 years old or something like that. Okay, Stern came into Maddie's life at 8 years old. That's why I say these cases are so similar, except for one's found and one's not found. And we believe that it was both kind of like the step-parents part of it, right? Like the mom's boyfriend. Isn't that crazy? That's what I'm saying. This case is so similar. These are two cases that are so similar. But, like some of the things that he did that morning, riding around doing this, doing that, acting like nothing, and then try to pout and cry on camera with the news, which we knew was wrong. And I'm wondering what else was found in that phone. Right? Because all the text messages, everything else, doesn't matter. They're recoverable. It goes to show you that they can find anything they want to find, even if you factory reset, right? Which, thank God for that. But whenever they confronted him about his cell phone, do you remember? He kind of freaked out, right? And was, I can't get a hold of my dad. Like, tried to, he always goes back to his parents because, like, he was a mama's boy. But they already knew that there was problems. And his mother had already spoke out a few times about, hey, quit letting Maddie sleep in there, right? Like, if Maddie came to their house, she slept with grandma. She wasn't allowed to sleep in there. And that's how it should be. These old values are old values for a reason. And especially if they felt like maybe she did have a crush, because a comment was made about she had fallen asleep and her legs were draped over him, and Maddie thought it was funny, and the grandma was like, no. I'm glad that happened, but it didn't work. And that's what makes me think Jen knew everything. And I think she will be charged. I really do. I think that they're going to get her just as well. And what they called them was sleepovers, remember? That's kind of creepy. Sleepovers usually with a bunch of little kids that want to have a sleepover, and they try to act like grown-ups and they stay on one side of the house and you stay the heck away, right? As parents, right? You let them have their little sleepover in their space, right? You just wait on them if they need food, snacks, whatever, right? I mean, yeah, I get how that stuff works, but the way they're referring it was weird. Like the sleepover meant that Maddie was going to get to sleep with Stearns, and Stearns was going to get to sleep with Maddie. That is creepy. But those parent coins really freaked me out, because if Maddie told Stern to get her some, what's going on? We know the pregnancy tests were in the house. We know, and I think all that'll come out. I think pretty much everybody's taking the wild guess that she was pregnant and are probably going to be right. I mean, we don't know yet, but it's another thing that I want to discuss, because I don't hear it talked about that much. But do y'all remember when the dogs were looking around Jen's car and stuff that day, and they went off on her car. Do y'all remember that? If you haven't, you need to go back and watch the clip, because those dogs clearly hit on Jen's car, the trunk of Jen's car. So what does that tell you? Did they go back and move this? I mean, who knows, right? Did they go back and cover her up? I don't know if he'd have had time to do all that while changing a tire. And I've always wondered, did she go back? And was her car used at all? Because why would the dog hit on the car? That was a cadaver dog, not a search dog. A cadaver dog hit on Jen Soto's car, the back end of her car. What does that tell you? Did something else go wrong that we don't know about? And Maddie, remember that bone in her neck, right? That's above your tongue and all that. How it was kind of separated. Do you think that it's possible that she had tried to run away because she was 13 now, and that Jen went to go look for her and backed up and hit her on accident? We don't know, right? I know what they've said, but it could be anything, right? If you hit somebody hard enough, it could have happened. If she was hit by the car on accident or on or whatever, it could have been the same way. We don't know exactly. They could have done that because she was suffering. I don't know. I'm just saying that why would a cadaver dog hit on her car? I've worked with plenty of these dogs. I know. I work with dogs every day. They don't hit like that for no reason. I'm sorry, they just don't. Not when they had been sniffing Maddie's clothes. And then to hit a cadaver dog. Now, if it had been a search dog, I would say, okay, yeah, because Maddie's always in that car. But a cadaver dog to hit the car. Totally different, guys. Totally different. But let's get into a little bit about what's going on now, right? Now that he's trying all these motions and he's trying all these things. It hurts my heart to talk too much about this case. That's why I try to change the tune so I don't sit here and need to go get a box of Kleenex, right? But it does happen. I mean, it's hard to cover these cases. It is, guys. And I've always felt like something didn't add up, right? And I always felt that Jen was involved as well. And so that's what makes it even more super hard, is that she's free right now. I mean, she's living with this, but she's still free. And she shouldn't be. She should at least be in there for neglect. Sorry. I'm just hoping that something else will surface maybe. Or maybe they have something they haven't discussed yet and it's going to come out, right? I don't know. Maybe they're holding what they got until after the essay trial. Because y'all know my theory on these cases. I think Stern's just going to try to take a deal, and I think Brian Koberger is probably already trying to make a deal after everything was denied yesterday. That was, I think, his last bit of hope, and I think now he's realizing that his hope is gone. And it's all because his DNA was there, but I don't want to go into that right now. I do want to say that some of the things that he said to his parents in those jail conversations really struck me, about the he didn't start it thing, and then him saying he would never hurt Maddie. If he truly did love Maddie like that in a weird way as being an adult, like, but still was kind of in love with her that way, he might not have been the one to hurt Maddie. It may have been the Woody Allen warrior, right? And then he just helped her, and once it got too late, it was too late. But now is going to be when we're going to really find out. Is he going to step up and start pointing the finger? Is he going to have some kind of proof to throw her under the bus? Because maybe she was being so nice to him because she was scared he was going to turn on her. Maybe the whole goal was, hey, you need a lawyer up right away. We'll help you. We'll get a lawyer. We'll do what we got to do to try to get you off. Maybe, you just take the blame. We can't fight both of us in court, right? We don't have enough money. Maybe something like that was said. I don't know what kind of deal they struck, but I know she was so babying him like a little baby when it's somebody that evidently you haven't done anything with in 6 months, but yet in that interview you're sitting there holding him and all that stuff, right? Lovey-dovey shit. Trigger warning. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean to say that, but I get frustrated. But, how is this going to go down? Because to me, with what they have against him, just in the phone alone, and then the pictures of her in the car alone, don't give him a deal. Strike him both. Give him 2 DPs. Whatever it takes. Build a fire squad chamber. I'll finance the damn thing. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, do not give this man a deal. And that's another thing, that it's so sad that they can proclaim all this stuff during it and then get a deal. But I don't really know. I'm praying that, I think Florida's pretty damn tough, and they knew from the start. I just don't see them giving. Now, they might give him a deal if he throws her under the bus, but I think that'd be the only way they give him a deal is if he points the finger at her. Because maybe they're going to use him to get her. Maybe that's their plan. Lock him up, let him sit in solitary confinement for a while, let him lose his mind a little bit, and then maybe he'll start talking. Maybe that's their plan. I don't know. Hopefully it'll damn work, right? Hopefully that she will be held accountable for something, right? I mean, at least, like I said, neglect, damn. We know that happened, right? I'm going to build this thing up for y'all guys. Look at this. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, this one's going to fall out. Hold on. I'm going to move it back here. I don't want it falling on me. But it's so hard to think because this child did not deserve this. And especially if she felt that it was okay. Because you got to remember, it's the parent's choice and the parent's obligation to your child to point them in the right direction. Y'all know my theory. I always say, kids get one shot. It's what we make of it for them. It's the path that we lead them down to success. Either we lead them down a good path or we don't. And in this case, Jen did not lead her down a good path. And I think that's clearly known, right? And especially according to Stern's parents, which in a way, what they were saying does hurt Jen by allowing the sleeping arrangements, this, that, and the other, right? That does hurt Jen because that's another set of people that are defending Maddie. They're defending Maddie even over their own son. So that shows their heart, where their heart is. And I know people may judge them, but I don't judge them in that way because at least they're saying it was wrong. And I think they feel that, like the father said, he is guilty. Now, if he's guilty of all of it together by himself, I don't know that. But Stern knows that. Jen knows that. So, is it going to be a battle at the end? I think so. I mean, I pray that they throw each other under the bus because that way we take down both of them and Maddie really gets justice. And I still have that sign from Maddie. It's just going to be really hard to take it down there. I need to do it. I've just been procrastinating it because it's going to be hard to do. And I'm a very emotional person when it comes to those kind of things, right? And even in the Sebastian case, as y'all noticed my video today, that was basically pouring my heart out about this case. And haven't done that on a lot of cases at all. And I usually try to hold it, or I just say, hey, gotta go, guys. That may be why y'all wonder sometimes why I just randomly say, all right, gotta go. Like, I just, the more I talk about it, the more it hurts. So you try to take that break from it, right? I've learned that over the years, to just take that little break from it and then come back at it, or change the topic and talk about something else, right? And it's easy to talk about locking these people up because that's what we want. We want justice for Maddie. And I feel right now she's at half justice. And until Jen is locked up, I won't feel that she's at full justice. And if that roommate is somehow involved, then lock her up too. But that's the least that they can do. And we don't know what their plan is. I think they got a good plan. I think they've been really tight-lipped. I think that they've only put out what they wanted to put out and needed to put out to show us what happened. But I think so much more will come out. And I'm really hoping they don't give him a deal. I hope that they make him face the DP and don't let him weasel his way out like he wants to do. Everybody knows he wants to weasel his way out. That phone got him. There's no getting around the phone. And that's enough to put him away forever anyway. So You know, that's going to be at least one step of justice right there. At least justice for those actions. Then for the other action, I think both need to go. And I hope that is their plan behind closed doors. I really do. I feel that there's at least a 25 to 30% chance that that is their plan, to take both down at once. And, you know, not take her down until after the SA trial, because they might need her. And now she's going to come up there and talk about Woody Allen. I don't know what she's going to do. If she does that again, just go ahead and throw the cuffs on her and get it over with while she's in the courtroom. Make it easy. But this case is truly going to come down to, will they give him a deal or will they won't? And that's what I think. And like I said, I hope they don't. But, you know, for Maddie Soto, there's going to be justice one way or another. We got petitions. I've signed it. I think a lot of y'all have signed it. Wonderful. Thank y'all guys. We love y'all guys. I appreciate y'all. You know, it's little things like this that make a difference. Even if it doesn't work the way we want it to work, it goes to show the support for Maddie. If anything else, it shows the support. It shows that we're willing to support little Maddie Soto and justice for Maddie. So hopefully the petition does make a dent. Even if it just pokes one hole or makes one person say, you know what, we need to check that out, right? That's what I say. Because sometimes all it takes is that one thing to do it. And in this case, my prayers are with Maddie. The other ones, no. But Maddie, yes. I feel like hopefully he will tell the truth, the whole truth about Jen's participation in all of this. That way we'll get a better understanding of who she is as a mom, because we know she wasn't there for Maddie. She was only there for herself. And when she feels like she's cornered, she cries. It's what she does. When she feels like, when she feels their question is pressure, she cries. And that's like her way of trying to show, but you can't cry. You should have been crying from day one, all day long, looking for your kid. You should have been doing all that. But I think everyone knew when they put them out of that apartment that it was over. That they knew it was foul play. I did. They're not going to put them in a hotel. Are you kidding me? Well, they didn't put them there. I think Stern's dad had to actually go down there and pay the hotel bill, but because you do have to be there with your card to pay for a room. And I think that even the father talked about him leaving that night, and he didn't even know he left that night, and all these things. And he was trying to cover his tracks, is what he was doing. All those little things show guilt. That's like the vehicles, they don't lie, right? GPS doesn't lie, those vehicles, navigation. It points you in the right direction. Ooh, baby, that thing is warm. And that's a wonderful thing. Oh, y'all can't see me because of... Sorry. I was just trying to stay warm so I wouldn't get cold, but it's not that bad. I mean, it's 37 right now, which is not that bad because the sun was out all day, so it is kind of not cold yet, but it's getting there. But that fire's helping. And so we have to keep our prayers up for Maddie Soto and justice for Maddie Soto, because it's only at 50% to me, in my opinion. So let's jump over to the other one that we did on today, touched a little bit on today, the Sebastian Rogers one, because there's a few things I want to talk about old Mr. Christopher Proudfoot, right? And remember, allegedly, these are my opinions, guys. I already said it, but I'm saying it again. You know, one thing I want to get into is the interviews in the beginning of this thing. You know, we always talk about she didn't really talk that much, which she didn't, because Chris talked in most of the interviews, but there was some that were, what dates were they? The 3rd, the 5th, the 18th, the 17th, the 17th, the 18th, the 20th, the 25th, which was Duchess, Smiley's World, the news station, Nancy Grace, all those things, right? So when her story changed in those, just remember, because she said in the beginning, he went to bed at 9 and that was it. Remember? Little Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. But let me say first, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers went missing on the same exact day, was last seen alive on the same exact day as Maddie Soto. and by someone besides the parents. And he is, of course, a male, not a female like Maddie, and he also has autism. So he's extra special, right? And he captivated America's heart just like Maddie Soto did. And Maddie Soto is still capturing Americans' hearts. And that's wonderful. That's just what these cases need to start doing, is grab us and pull us in so we can help in any way possible, even if it's just spreading awareness or sharing a video or giving a thumbs up, right? That's showing people, hey, he's got a lot of thumbs up. He must be doing some good content. It's about awareness, not about whether the video is good or bad. To me, it's about awareness. And that's why I do this. And yes, I enjoy talking and visiting with y'all. I do. I love it. And I do feel that Sebastian is a total different scenario, of course, than Maddie Soto, but similar in a way. But we know that Sebastian Wayne Jake Rogers was always smiling. He was just unique. As his father, Seth Rogers, said, right? He's unique. He's just a unique child, right? When he's good, he's good. When he's in a little bit of trouble, he's a little bit of trouble. He's a teenager. It happens. But still, all in all, he's in good spirits and always smiling, always happy. For what he endured, he was always smiling, that we see in the photos we see. Now, I'm sure there is some out there where he's holding his ears and things like that, and I'm sure there's probably more. But there's also a picture of him, but hasn't circulated to us, but of him eating, either trying salad dress for the first time or cleaning his whole plate. I don't think they know which one to say, so they just say both. And that's from the mother and the stepfather. The bio mother, of course, Katie Lynn Proudfoot. And then the stepfather is, of course, Christopher Proudfoot. They started dating before Seth and Katie were actually divorced. He was still married to Nina. She was still married to Seth, but somehow they got an apartment, did their thing, whatever they did, moved in together, whatever. So Sebastian had to kind of accept him because it was the mom's new boyfriend, right? So that started all when he was younger, like around 8 or 7, something. He's been in Sebastian's life half his life, so around 7 years. He's probably 7.5, 7. Something around in that nature, I guess. I don't know exact, but I know it's close. And little Sebastian he loved to play chess. He loved chess. And according to Seth, he got along with everyone at school. They were asking after he vanished, when is Sebastian coming back? We miss him, right? That's the kids at the school were doing these things. So I feel like maybe he had more acquaintances than Mama and Steppapa gave him credit for. And we know that he was a big gamer, Minecraft and these other games, right? He loved playing video games, which a lot of boys at that age love video games. And especially when your bio mom keeps you locked in the house all day, pretty much you have to play video games to stay sane, right? And, his special needs, it was a 6q27 chromosome thing, or that's what he was diagnosed with, right? Which also a lot of people don't talk about. It can cause heart conditions, and it also causes seizures. And you see things as you don't really sense danger. So maybe that's why all the times that Christopher was doing this, he was still smart. Maybe he didn't really sense the danger in it, right? And we know he loved green. His favorite color was green, right? His birthday is December 7th. And he turned 16 then. He was 15 when he went missing, when he vanished, I'm going to say, because he vanished with no scent, no nothing, no shoes, no phone, no backpack, no Nintendo Switch, no medicines, he just completely vanished. And of course, bio mom's always said she doesn't know why he walked out that door. Well, if there was proof he walked out the door, we would believe you. But since there's no scent trail of Sebastian walking out that house, we don't know how he left the house. Another thing that really gets me is that during all this mess, the stepfather has continuously tried to say the dogs picked up his trail outside the home, which we know now it was only inside the home. There was no scent outside the home. Nancy Grace, everybody else has proven that. I think that he has tried to in the beginning, he would tell the different channels that, and one channel, it was 3 different times he was asked about the lie detector. Yes, we've taken, he was saying all 3 of them had taken the lie detector test, which means him, Seth, and Katie. And he said, we've all 3 taken them and we've all 3 passed. And he said it 3 different times. And then he kept getting more and more defensive about it each time they asked. But then come to find out a few days after that, when he did Nancy Grace, he clearly said he hadn't taken one. And then we know when Seth went on, he had told her he hadn't taken one. But Seth did say, since they had his whereabouts on tape, because of, there's videos in every prison like that, he was seeing his whole shift there. So that's pretty good enough for them to not really need to test him. But still, all in all, if you offer to take a test, they're going to give it to you in a missing child's case, unless there's really 100% proof that you were not there, which in Seth's case, I believe the sheriff's department turned over the tapes and said he was here the whole shift. So I think that is why Seth, but all in all, he's still on his own free will. And he said TBI never instructed him to not take a test. Like, Christopher Prophet said TBI instructed him, and it also instructed him not to come for the second follow-up on Nancy Grace, which would have been Seth on one side, Christopher Prophet on the other side. And I think he knew he already had bailed out on her lie detector test. So he knew she was going to call him out on it. He knew Seth would probably be asking him questions, and he didn't want to answer that because he didn't want to get tongue-tied again, like he seems to be doing a lot lately with his new partner in crime, or his new whatever guy. He has some guy that he's paying PI or something to help him. And they've been putting out evidently some stuff that wasn't correct or something about working with TBI and all this, and come to find out they haven't worked with TBI at all. So I don't know how much of that's fact or not. I don't usually get into other channel stuff, but I'll listen to some of the interviews that they did in the beginning with, like Chronicles of Olivia. I did hear a little part of the Duchess one, the Smiley's World one. I did hear some parts of some of these to see who was favoring them, who wasn't. That was more or less. And then try to see how many times they were slipping, right? Like the biggest slips to me have been the stepdad. Somebody that wasn't supposed to be there. Kind of like in the video today, I titled it, Why would he run if evil wasn't present, right? That was what, I couldn't put that on the thing, but that's what I wanted to put. Why would Sebastian run out that door if the man that he was afraid of, the man that was evil to him, was gone? That's why I don't believe he was gone. And they've never proven it. There's nowhere on any TBI, sheriff's, FBI, there's not one thing that says his alibi is accounted for. Never. And if y'all see it, send it to me by email, because I really want to see it. Because I know that everybody I've reached out to that is on this case have said they cannot find it anywhere. Even the Lower Lodge, they can't find it anywhere. It's nowhere out there does it confirm his alibi. But we know he lied so much that we don't believe him about that either. And I think that's what gets him more mad and more angry, is because we're not believing you because of all the stories you've told. It's just like the belt incident on this. He told Nancy Grace that one time and one time only swatted him with a belt 3 years ago. And then he tells another channel, the 15-year-old boy just got mad because I swatted him. Okay, well, at that particular time, think about that. He just turned on December 7th, 15. February 25th, he was gone. So how much? That's not even 3 months. I mean, technically, that's not even 3 whole months. Because what would it be? December 7th to January 7th, January 7th to February 7th. That wasn't even 3 months. And you said it was 3 years. That's that 3 again. Your magic 3. Katie's magic 3. I got it on the jersey right there, the pink jersey. Number 3, that's for you. And I'm serious. It's the lies have ruined them. When all they needed to do was just, how hard is it to be honest? You take a lie detector? Nope. Oh, it's all you had to say. No, I haven't taken one. I was out of town. That's it. But he seems to have to explain everything, but he goes way around it to not give you the answer you're asking for, but to way around a half moon circle to give you a somewhat answer, a half-ass answer. And her mommy, whoo boy, did her stories change. I went back and vetted a lot of that to make sure that she really did. 9 p.m. he went to bed. That was what, 3 interviews, I think. A couple of them were real short, but with the news and stuff. 9 p.m. he went to bed. Then it started after public people started dogging them about this, that, and the other. That's when the thud came out. And then she said she didn't go check on him. Then public awareness came out again. So her next story was she heard the thud, but she hollered out to him. Hey, Bubba, you fall out the bed? Oh, no matter. Just knock off what you're doing and go to bed. He answered you. But you're doing public opinion. You did that because you didn't want to have to answer you didn't want to look at those other comments of them saying, why didn't you check on him? So you used that way to show that you didn't need to check on him, which is BS because you still need to check on your child, regardless. But the whole thing comes down to, I think, I'm sorry, that's just how I feel, but that she doesn't know what to say because Sebastian wasn't there. I mean, I hate to be the bearer of the bad news, but if he would have been there, to me, hold on, I'm trying to find a good one. There you go. He would have, y'all let me let it go down. Y'all can't do that. No, y'all can't hear me, but he would have basically, I don't know. I don't even want to get into that part of it. But technically, she went along with public opinion as the interviews progressed, not realizing that everybody was going to look at that and be like, God dang, your story keeps changing. You went from 9 p.m. went to bed, that's it, to 9 p.m. heard a noise at 10, heard a thud at 10, didn't check on him, to went to bed at 10, heard the thud at 10, and I hollered out to him, Bubba, you okay? He answered me back, all that. And then she went from, she was falling asleep on the phone with Christopher on their little 2.5 hour, 20-minute phone call from 9:43 or 9:46, whatever time the call started, to, what was it? She said that she was talking to him, falling asleep, he told her to get up, put the bed. Then it was changed. I was reading a chapter. It was something added every time. Like, the first time I think I heard the chapter reading was on Nancy Grace. What was she trying to do? Throw out so much to try to throw Nancy Grace off her questions? That ain't going to happen. You're not that smart. Nancy Grace mopped the floor with that woman. And I liked when she said, not you, Christopher Proudfoot. The question is for you, Christopher Proudfoot. I love that. And then he's all fumbling. I thought you were talking to Katie. Right? And then what does he say, Mr. Macho Man? I offered to take a test, but TBI told me I didn't need to take one because of my whereabouts. Even though they don't confirm your whereabouts, you're going to say that anyway. On the biggest true crime channel there is out there. With all these people watching. You say you want a big audience, you don't want a big audience. That's why you go to the little channels. You don't want a big audience, buddy. Because there's too many people to rip into you. For all your lies and lies. I bet I have like 87 lies and I didn't even finish but like those few videos. It's bad. It's that bad, guys. It's that bad. And now he's trying to defend the Wi-Fi and the phone pings in that area that day. Like, just come out and say, man, I was home. It's my house. I wasn't mandated to be out. I could be home. That's why I thought in the beginning when everybody was saying, well, CPS put you out, he was going to agree. Because that way it'll look like he couldn't be there. That's what I thought he was going to use. I thought he was going to use CPS as a tool. And he did the total opposite. Because he'd already been telling some lies. I thought, okay, he's going to lie now and say, yeah, they put him out the house so he can say, that's my alibi. I couldn't be home anyway. I wouldn't have been home. But the poker party and all these things that came out later, like, it's too hard to not believe this stuff we're hearing because we can't believe him or her. But can you imagine the fear right now in them? They are ghosted silent. I wouldn't be surprised if they're gone in Canada or something, right? Like, I really wouldn't be surprised. And it wouldn't shock me. I think they know it's coming down. The rabbit hole's over. It's coming down. I think it's fixing to crash and they know it. But It's just like the light bulb missing. We could go over so many things. And now most of us realize that it happened before midnight. Whatever happened, I think happened right after the Roadhouse. That swap was done right then and there. Now, whether a lot of y'all feel that he's been put up somewhere, I make the difference of why I think he wasn't put up somewhere is because that would mean that they would have to trust someone else and trust them to hold this child and not let him up and not let him get out where he could run and ask for help. That's what hurts to think about, that they went through all this trouble. They've been getting away with this for 11 months. Think how smart. They've been pretty smart about it. They've told a lot of lies and stuff, but they still have been getting away with this for a long time. So that is a possibility. I don't know. Is it a possibility that he walked out that door? 1%. 1%, I say. Because there's no scent. That means he would have magically had to wrap himself up in a Hefty's garbage bag and hop on down the road with no shoes, no jacket, no nothing. And you know what's so crazy is if you go back and listen to some of Seth's interviews in the beginning with that WB What Up News, and when he's talking about he's out here, his boots are on the ground, all these things, and they're asking him about, are you cleared? Are you suspect? He's like, well, I haven't been told that I did any wrongdoings, but the investigation's still going, so of course I'm not cleared. But he understands. But the other two were trying to be clear from day one. We cleared, man, we cleared. And they were trying to drag Seth into it. Oh, he took a test, he's cleared too. When he hadn't even taken a test. It's just, you see what I'm saying? It was like he was trying to butter up Seth too, in a way, I think, to keep him close in the beginning. And I think Seth got a good sniff of it and was like, bullshit. Where the hell is my son? And what have you done with him? That's what I think happened. And then that was it. It broke. And then poor Seth tried to give them another chance. Because he needed them so he could try to get the truth. That's what he needed. Them close to him to try to get the truth. Keep your enemies closer, right? Try to get the truth. All he wants is Sebastian back. And it's just another thing that throws a really, 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 really big red flag to me that I haven't talked about yet. But it's the second search. Remember, they had found the glasses in Gatlinburg or whatever. Gallatin. And right after they found the glasses, full-blown search the area again, which usually they don't do. You go back and look at a lot of searches, they do not usually do a sweep like that over a same area and spend that much funds again on that same area. So I've always wondered, I know they said most likely they're not his glasses, but if you go read their statements, it says they weren't able to confirm that they were his glasses. So if that's the case, isn't where the glasses were found the little town where the Stinky Socks live? If I'm not mistaken, 14 miles down the road. I don't know exactly, but I'm just wondering if that is. I've always thought they were involved too, somehow in the cover-up. I still think they're involved in the cover-up. I think that was probably him that showed up that night to try to throw them off and think that he got in a car at 2:58 in the morning. I think that was their plan. I don't think that video really now has anything other than to do with this thing anymore, other than to try to prove their theory that Sebastian walked out that door. That's what I think that video is about. That's why the flashlight was brought up. And now that we know that the shoes were brought up basically by Seth, not Katie, and then Katie ran with it. Because evidently Seth saw that the shoes were all there when he saw the slip-ons in his room and all that. So he knew that Sebastian left without shoes and socks, which he said he would have never done, which no teenage boy is going to go outside with no damn socks and shoes on. Unless you live on the beach and it's sand, right? He didn't like bugs. He didn't like ants. Autistic with those chromosomes. He's not going to do that. And we just have to, I don't know, it's so hard to focus because, sometimes I wish that there were so many more like FBI people that could just go in and just interrogate people however the heck they wanted to. Because to me, that's what it would take. Because Can you imagine with what they tell lies now to us, how many lies they told to the law enforcement in the very beginning? And how many times he utilized their name? Well, TBI requested this. No, they didn't. They didn't request you to not go to Nancy Grace. They want you to talk. Everybody knows that. All law enforcement want you to talk and talk and talk and talk and talk so they can break it down, buddy. And I think by the time you realized they were breaking it down, that's when you kind of, whoa. And then you tried to come out and do your little December one right after his birthday and try to make peace. But all you did was tell a whole bunch more lies. And you tripped over your tongue so bad with the memories things of loss of a loved one. That's why she's grieving. Okay, you know all these things, right? The holidays, the empty chairs. I've talked about it a couple of times now. How did you know he wasn't going to be home at Christmas? All these things don't add up. And I'm sorry, but they don't freaking add up. And some of the biggest points, I've always thought that the court cases were involved in this. I really think they are. I think he was so gung-ho on getting Faith this past summer, and he was hoping that he was going to get her this past summer and keep her. That was his plan. That's why he wanted Seth to go live with Sebastian to go live with Seth and all that stuff. Because he knew the CPS was hot on his ass. I mean, can you imagine? He did say in that thing when they asked him, was there 5 or 10? I don't know. He is getting smarter in that way, knowing now. That's why I think CPS has been on his ass. I think they're doing their own investigation. I talked about it about 3 weeks ago. I think CPS is doing their own investigation, and that's why he wouldn't say anymore. Nope, no more. He did not want to because CPS is listening. So that he was truthful because he knew that would get him in Faith's case, which is going to get him anyway. All his lies are going to catch up. They always do. And then her the same way. Even though she's radio silent, she told enough lies in the beginning to hang herself anyway, right? I mean, in my opinion, allegedly, she did. I mean, she couldn't tell the truth if it smacked her in the face. But if we go back and look at that day, the spaghetti pancakes, the colossal popcorn, all those wonderful things that happened that day for Sebastian to make it look like I'm the best mom in the world. That's what she was trying to do. All she was trying to do was create a good mom picture before he went missing. So that way she could say, look, I'm a wonderful mother. But what you don't realize is they know that you didn't do that before. Because now they have your cell phones. Now they have your card data. They know that you weren't doing these things before. The child was wearing diapers, for crying out loud. And you were allowing it. You're allowing him to be hit by a belt at the age of 15 with autism, which is a felony. You were allowing it. You were allowing another boy. You were allowing him to speak to your own mother on FaceTime in the kitchen while making spaghetti pancakes when she's not supposed to be even talking to any child. You put your own mom at risk of going back to jail. And you know what? If she was doing that, I hope they lock her up. Let's lock them all up. And then I guarantee the truth will come out. If they would throw them all in jail, the truth will come out. And in a hurry, I think. Somebody would right away to take that deal up front. Bam! They'd be the first person. They'd all be saying, me first, me first, me first. They'd all be wanting to talk first. But anyway, guys, y'all know me. When I get too emotional, I shut it down. No, I'm not going to shut it down just yet because there's one more thing. I got to say some of this. Now that we're getting pretty weather, it's going to start getting warm, I hope. We'll be able to do more fire chat, longer fire chat. This was another hour. Man, I'm getting good at the hour ones. Okay, remember the black long sleeve shirt with the cartoon character? The black pants with the white stripes, Adidas stripes. No shoes, no socks. Black square frame glasses. These are the things that this young man had on when he vanished. And I know that there was the black sweatpant theory and the black sweatshirt theory. Honestly, I listened to what Sonny Weatherford said in the beginning of this on February 27th. I can't tell you for sure what Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers was wearing. That was Sonny Weatherford's exact words on February 27th in that short clip interview with news lady Peyton outside the command center, standing right next to Eric Craddock. So You can check it out if you want. There's a little bit more in there. But, clearly that was what he said. I don't know if he meant for it to come out, but it did. And he's also the one that clarified the landfill search, that he was disappointed in the outcome. So many things are showing you what a criminal investigation this is that we're not seeing. Yes, they're not telling us 100%, but we know it is because look what they're doing. And now when they're radio silent like this, that means that they're putting pieces of that puzzle together and they're putting it up on that board right now and they're saying, okay, this fits here, this fits here, this fits here. We need this, this, and this. That's on the way, okay? That. And it's finally painting the picture. And right above it is most likely, in my opinion, Katie Proudfoot's picture on the right, on the left, Christopher Proudfoot's picture on the right, and they probably got some little strings coming down with thumbtacks showing Terry's stinky socks and Kathy's stinky socks, and then a little line going this way to Christopher's cousin and a little line this way going to Christopher's sister. I think they got strings going everywhere. And I think they're putting it together. And I pray to God for this young man. They are. I really do. Because Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, like I say it all the time, he touched America's hearts, just like a lot of these cases have. And by God, we want to see justice. I am so ready right now. I wish right now that I was already on days off because I'd be there. Y'all know me. I ain't scared to go and crawl into no damn woods. I'll crawl literally if I have to. That's me. And Ruby be right beside me. And pretty soon, in about, I think, 3 weeks and 6 days, 3 weeks and 6 days, I think, from right now, we'll have the new puppy. So then we'll be training another dog with the military training book. So, with that said, guys, we have to stay focused on Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Like I said it today. I hope a lot of y'all set a plate at your table tonight. I'm going to do that in a little bit when I get off here. And I'm going to start doing it every day for a different case. And just to make me push harder on these cases. That's what I need to do. That's the way that I push harder, right? Sometimes I'll write their name down and lay it on a plate at the table. And I'll be like, okay, I need to cover this case more. I need to cover this case more. Because the new upcoming, what we're going to do on this next set of days off, when we're not searching, I'm going to take every couple of hours in a day, and I'm going to take at least 10 minutes to do a small video on a certain case. And if I do that, I will be able to put out about 3 or 4 different ones a day, shorter ones, 9-10-minute ones, and spread way more awareness. And that's one of my notes that I've been wanting to do, and I'm going to do it. But we need to focus on these old interviews, like I've said for months and months and months. It's pretty much since I started talking about Sebastian Rogers. What have I said? Go back and rewatch him. Go back and rewatch him. Do it. Even the Lore Lodge does it. Everybody's going back and watching them because what does it do? It paints a picture. And it paints such a big picture that's what? A lie. It's what it's painting, is a lie. By 2 people in that one household where he went missing from. And I'm praying that CPS, that all these other things are going to all hit at once. And I hope and pray that they keep Faith safe with her mama Nina. I really hope that. I pray that. And I know my opinions really don't matter in that. But I hope that that judge takes into consideration the lie that was told to him about being cleared, that this child is in danger anytime she's around that man. Because we know now he doesn't mind using corporal punishment, disciplining children, even if they're special needs like Sebastian with autism. That is uncalled for. That is cowardly. That is a disgrace. And the worst thing of it all is that Mama Bear allowed it, was okay with it. But now we know her name is on CPS reports as well. So wow, oh wow, I think it's both of them. And maybe that's why they did this. Maybe both of them were going to go down by CPS. Have y'all ever thought of that? Maybe CPS was going to move in and take them both. Maybe that's why Chris was talking about Sebastian going to Seth. Maybe he knew that it was either they're going to take this kid or we need to give him to Seth. Maybe that was their talk. I don't know. But the wearing the diapers, all these things that they did to this child is uncalled for. And I know these are just my opinions and my free speech. And it's all alleged. This is just what I think. But what they've said in these things is their own words. So I'm only repeating their own words. Reading the chapters to go down to 9 p.m. went to bed, that was it, to a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Then it was I'm reading a chapter, I'm talking to him, I'm dozing off, I have to put the dogs up. I heard a thud, I yelled out to Bubba, you okay? He tell me back, I love you, good night, I love the puppies. The morning, the day that I think was Sebastian's last day. And I think she knew that, starting with spaghetti pancakes, talking to her mother. Why? Why was she? The only one thing I can think of, the only one way that they could probably hide this child and get away with it would be with her mother or that grandmother, her grandmother. To me, that would be one of the only places that they can trust to get away with it. Knowing that her mama, she can trust her mama. Why can she trust her mama? Think about what I'm fixing to say. Why can she 100% trust her mother to not say anything? Because if she did say something, she'd be locked up for the rest of her life. She can't be around children. So she would be locked up. That's the only one person. I wasn't going to do that tonight, but I just did it. Y'all know me, I slip all the time. But the one person that I feel that I've had circled on my pad the whole time was her mother. And I knew that Sebastian, when I told y'all in the beginning that Sebastian was talking to her, y'all all picked on me and said no. I'm telling you, he was talking to that grandmother. And Seth confirmed it more than once. Seth even called the law on him one time and got CPS file involved. Okay? That is sad. And I'm now wondering if this person that did this to Sebastian when he was young was part of that family. Was that time? I don't know. But I'm working on it. I go back. Y'all know that. I'm trying to go back and paint the bigger picture, and that's my goal here. Because Sebastian needs us to fight for him. He doesn't have a voice right now. We need to be his voice. And if he is put up with that woman, oh my God, I can't imagine. I don't know why they haven't raided that entire property and checked all those that phones. And she's already on probation. Go tear down those doors and check everything. Because it might hold an answer. Because that to me would be the only one person they would trust. Because they knew that she'd be locked up if she ratted. So, I'll leave it at that tonight. Anyway, guys, an hour and 7 minutes. My booty is not cold, but my feet are cold. So, we love y'all guys. We'll talk more tomorrow. Fire's still going, I know, but it's dying down. I like the big, big flames. So, we'll talk tomorrow. We'll do a little bit more. I'm going to do Summer Wells and Sebastian tomorrow. I was going to do it tonight, but I really wanted to do the Maddie thing because it was the same day as Sebastian. So, I will cover Summer tomorrow. I did get some emails back. I want to go over some things about the search that's upcoming for Little Summer Wells and speak on that a little bit. I'm working on an update for the Dumas Jr., Ronald Dumas Jr. I'm working on an update on the Sam, the transgender that was kept for like a month and tortured and then unalived and dumped out in that field, found on February 13th. There's a lot of things that I'm working on. While I'm working, it's hard. Like today I took my breaks and I had so much on my mind that I just wanted to sit down and talk. And I think sometimes that makes the best videos. I really do. And I'm going to try doing that every day. If I can take that 20, 30 minutes that I take a break on and just talk about a case, at least I'm spreading awareness instead of just sitting on my butt eating a snack, right? It's better to at least spread awareness. So anyway, guys, y'all be good. Y'all be safe. Justice for all the voiceless, all the missing, all the runaways. They run for a reason. Think about it. If Sebastian did run away, y'all wouldn't give up on him, right? Because he ran away. So they run away for a reason. We need to focus just as much on them as we do on any case. Because there's a reason why they probably ran out that door. Anyway, guys, prayers always for all the voices across the board, guys. We'll dig more into I'm going to do one Saturday about just CP. I want to break down his little history and throw some stuff out there that might make y'all think twice about a few things that, because I think he's the mastermind behind it. I really do. Although a little bit of me knows, I mean, I know Katie was involved, most likely. In my opinion, Katie was involved. And because she's tried to cover his theories about the dogs, the scent, there's no scent. But she kind of backed him on that one. She didn't back him on one thing, I think, and all of it was about the shoes. She said, no, law enforcement didn't verify the shoes. I did. See, like, she's making sure that she doesn't say too much to get her in trouble with law enforcement. She's allowing him to say it all. But what I don't get is why she's allowing him to speak for her. Like, why didn't she correct him when he said he took a test? And Seth, why didn't she correct him and say, no, you didn't. You and Seth haven't taken one yet. They told y'all didn't need to. Why didn't she stand up for her husband? He stands up for her. You know, that's what makes me wonder. But anyway, I don't believe Sebastian walked out of that home. I don't even believe he came back to that home after the roadhouse. Or if he did, it was a short, brief moment. Unless Christopher was there and left at 9 p.m. I have heard that. I did hear someone say that he had left at 9 p.m. Well, if that's the case, that would explain more about the bite marks and the scratch marks on his arm, that maybe something did bad happen in that house before 9, but that wouldn't have given him enough time to get to the camper. Unless, one thing, he had somebody else up there with his phone up there to make it look like. Remember, they had time to plan this. So we're going to get into that again later on, another day. But anyway, guys, y'all be good. Y'all be safe. We love y'all, guys. We'll talk on the next one. All right, guys, y'all be good. All right, bye.